A Gay and a Non-Gay is a podcast from James Barr and Dan Hudson. Whether you identify as gay or non-gay, you'll totes be offended by this.
Right, Dan, I need to bring something up with you. So Dan and I went to a radio station for an interview the other day. And don't get me wrong, it was lovely. I think we had a nice time.
Yeah.
They gave us loads of promos, so big love to them. But the guy who was hosting it, his first question was, Dan, are you more or less homophobic since working with James?
Yeah.
I was immediately offended. And I didn't tell you this at the time or since then, but I nearly left. Like, I nearly walked out. I nearly pulled an Owen Jones on Sky News because I was really not happy. How did you feel when you asked that question?
I thought it was a really, really good question. And I was a bit floored by it. The actual answer is obviously...
No, the answer you gave is the one we're discussing right now. The answer you gave is...
Well, I said more because I was trying to be funny.
Yeah, I know. Everyone listening to this podcast is now jaw on the floor.
No.
Dan said that since working with me, he had become more homophobic.
What I meant was...
inferring that he'd already been homophobic before working with me, and now since working with me is even more homophobic.
No, it doesn't imply that I was homophobic to start off with, the question. Well, I really don't think you should try and defend yourself. Well,
here,
I'm not. Why are we talking about it?
Because I'm offended. I'm really upset, actually.
Well,
and I've had to hold it in for 10 minutes for us to walk in here.
Basically, can I just explain what I was trying to say?
Yeah, please.
Which is, I'm slightly more homophobic because I wasn't homophobic ever, but I was like, you're quite annoying. I was trying to be funny by saying, I don't like you now. So therefore, like, I'm slightly 0.01% more homophobic in the same way that I'm 99.9% heterosexual, for instance. And that's what I was trying to get at. But
you were trying to get at what?
That's what I was trying to get at. I was trying to make a joke. It wasn't funny. I apologise. Let's move on.
I need you to say the S word, Dan, because I actually am quite upset.
No, I am. It would be worse to say less, by the way, because that implies that I was homophobic to start with.
No, it wouldn't. It would be slightly less bad as saying more. It's not worse than saying less. Less would be better. It's like arguably better. It's like, not better. I haven't finished. Now I've finished.
I get it, but you don't get that I was just trying to be funny.
No,
I accept it didn't work and it backfired. I'm the one that looks like a dick and has to keep going on about it, and I've said I'm sorry. So what else do you want? Because
what I'm saying is I accept your apology.
Great.
I accept your
apology. Can we start the podcast?
Welcome to A Gay and a Non-Gay. I actually do want to continue talking about it, not because of you, but because the guy then said, didn't he, that he thinks everyone is a little bit homophobic inside. From day one, like when you first meet. Do you remember him saying this? He was like, because I said that's a word filled with hate, and I'm sure Dan has never been that. Because I know you're not homophobic, Dan.
I think, I don't know whether what he's saying is true or not, but I tell you what I do know. There's all sorts of studies that say that everybody is a little bit racist.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And if that's true, it's like, if that's true, then what else is true?
Well, because I think socially, everyone, regardless of race, colour, sex, gender, I think you're always trying to look after your own, aren't you? Your own tribe. So, like, sorry, not socially, that's the wrong word, but like inherently. It goes back to, like, I read a really interesting book actually that Ruby Wax wrote about. I know it's a bit odd. It's called Sane New World, and it's about mental health because she's gone and studied it, and she talks about your caveman. And it sort of just taught me a lot, really, that actually we haven't really fully evolved, and we are still probably going to have those instincts.
Yeah.
Which is why it's really important that we're intelligent and that we are open and that we talk about these things so that we're no longer being ignorant.
Yeah, we haven't fully evolved at all. Otherwise, you wouldn't have anybody fucking running over people in Finsbury Park, would you?
Yeah, I know. Exactly. Anyway, so is that true then? Do you think most people are born homophobic?
I don't think people are born homophobic or racist, for that matter. But I think environmentally, people learn an element of that.
Yeah, well,
that's a theory anyway.
I sincerely hope that, like when I grew up and I saw people campaigning for gay marriage and I was like, yes, I'm not alone. I hope people now grow up and listen to podcasts like this or see gay people normalizing their sexuality. Like, I hope my nieces, who are only 4 and 2, are like totally normal about gay people.
I would hope so.
I want people to be like, I'm going out with a guy. I want guys to be like, I'm going out with a guy, mum. Oh, great, cool. What's his name? Like, rather than I'm gay, I have to come out to you.
Yeah. On the topic of nobody's born homophobic because nobody knows what being gay is. Because I remember in the first few years of being alive, like, so in years 1, 2, and 3, you'd ask a teacher, "Oh, can a man marry a man?" And
you asked a teacher that?
Yeah. It wouldn't.
You actually asked the teacher?
Yeah, I specifically remember asking that question. Like,
wow.
It must have been like 4 or 5.
And what happened?
I can't remember it, but it wasn't like, oh, well, this kind of person is a gay person and blah blah blah. There was none of that. I think the answer was probably like
no,
because
you couldn't.
But then you couldn't then. So
no, of course. Did the other children laugh, or were they just like?
No, because when you're that young, you're not like, oh, you're gay. Like that doesn't come in until, I don't know.
That's it. You see, I suppose things like that will make a difference, because if my 4-year-old niece puts her hands up and asks that, or asks my sister that, then she'll say yeah.
Yeah.
And that'll be the end of it. Like, there'll no longer be weirdness later on in their life when someone says they're gay, because it's like, great. Well, the government's allowed it. But there are still so many pockets of homophobia in this country and in the world, of course, where even despite very liberal and radical, like, new laws and stuff like here in the UK, it's still not okay for other people. People are still not everyone has caught up yet.
Yeah.
Which is the same for gender and for race and all sorts of other things that people really need to get a life about.
Yeah.
That was me doing a snap.
Happy Pride from a gay and a non-gay.
There was also a discussion about golden showers and whether or not Dan and I had participated. This interview was just too much. It was clearly not a Radio 4. Yeah, they wanted to be like, have you ever pissed on each other? Anyway, it was really interesting because Dan said that he would piss on someone, but he wouldn't have them piss on him.
They didn't ask, have you pissed on each other? Because that would be weird.
Yeah, no, definitely they didn't ask that. No,
just to clarify that,
in case you're wondering, is no.
What if I had been stung by a jellyfish? Like someone in Friends, did Rachel get stung by a jellyfish?
I haven't seen Friends.
Whatever.
No.
How have you not seen Friends ever?
I don't know, and I'm wondering if this is why I'm single. I meant to bring this up with you a while ago, because I miss out on these things all the time. People go, oh, it's like that. This happens every day, in fact, in life. Oh, it's like that episode of Friends when X did Y. And I'm like, oh, cool. And most of the time I just go along with it. Like, oh, yeah, that was so funny. Even though I have absolutely no idea.
How have you never seen Friends?
I've seen a couple of episodes. I think I saw the Ross and Rachel get married one.
Right.
Did they get married?
Yeah. How does someone get to be a grown adult and has never seen Friends?
I don't know.
Like, what were you doing at 9 o'clock on a Friday when you were like 12?
I was watching The Bill. I loved The Bill when I was a kid.
Was The Bill on a Friday night?
I'm not sure. Was it? I don't know when it was on. But yeah, I haven't really seen Friends. I don't know. I think I was playing computer games a lot. I played a lot of games. I was quite an isolated child.
You didn't have any friends?
That's really not funny, Dan. That's really not funny. I did have friends. I used to get naked with them when I was like 14. Well, how old were you when Friends was on at 9 o'clock on a Friday?
12, probably.
Yeah, 11, I was getting 12. Naked with friends. Yeah.
And doing what?
Wouldn't you like to know? I don't know if I want to talk about this.
What? Surely
this
not.
Is a bit dark. But no, yeah, I'm not sure people want to hear this.
No, I think they do.
No, I don't think they do. It's a bit. I'm like clutching my rosary beads.
Okay, I've just cracked open a can of.
Hang on, I'm gonna just drink some gin. Hold on, everyone.
By the way, we don't normally drink gin.
No, I don't know why we are. I know why we are.
So hot.
It's boiling, and we were like, and I was so angry with Dan. I needed a drink to get through it. My friend and I used to hang out a lot. Our single mums hung out together.
Yeah.
My mum and her friend. Being so careful not to name names here. And anyway, they went to see the Chippendales once, and me and my friend were like, oh, what's that? What's that, mum? And they were like, oh, it's this group of blokes that take their clothes off and dance around to music. So my friend and I thought that was hysterical at like 10. So we then performed naked shows for our mums.
Wow.
Which is so not probably what, I don't know, is that, I don't want to say the word normal, but is that normal? Would you have done anything like that?
I don't think so.
Your face says it, yeah.
There was a kid that I went to school with, and I, retrospectively, is quite clearly gay, but it's like you don't really know what that is at the time. And he would always like get his willy out and stuff. And I remember thinking at the time, this is just really weird. Why is he doing that? it's only like 15 years later
Yeah.
that you go, oh, I see. There was like 3 of us at his house. He did it once. I think we all went to the toilet together, which
Is this your only gay experience?
No, it's not really a gay experience, is it? But like, he did that. I don't know. I think he like pissed, like we were all in the toilet, and he just turned around and wheezed on both of us. And then like my mum had to come around with like some spare clothes and stuff. It's really weird.
Wait, so going back to the question you asked in the interview, then they said, so you actually have had someone pee on you?
Well, I guess so. But not like in a well, maybe it wasn't a sexual way for him. I don't know.
It was funny. I'm sorry you haven't heard it, but Dan was like, "Oh no, I'd pee on someone, but they can't pee on me," which I think is a little bit.
What I said. Why do we always have to have the same conversations again, like over and over again?
If you're going to do it, Dan, just so you know, do it. Don't do it in the morning. No. You need to do it in like the evening, because or like after they've drunk a lot of water, because you don't want pee that's actual pee. You need pee that's actually like more watery.
I'll bear that in mind.
How do I know so much about this? It's true though, it's true. And that fact will help you at some point in your life. You will know that is the deal. I'm not into it, by the way, I'm just telling you.
Okay.
I just know.
I'll bear that in mind.
Don't ask me how I know, I just know.
I'll bear that in mind if we get stung by a jellyfish.
Give it some gay.
Just to bring it back round, all I actually said on the topic of piss was, if someone was like, hypothetically, if somebody was like, oh my God, like, I really want you to do it, blah, 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 then it's not me being dirty. It's not going on me, is it? So...
But what if they wanted to do it on you?
That's a red line too far, isn't it?
I know, but I just think that's a bit rich.
My mates John and Matt we had this conversation once. It would be like, oh, would you shit on someone if they
I don't want to talk about that.
Why? I think you do.
I really don't.
Why? Someone shit
on... never.
You shit on someone else?
No, never.
So what's
I just don't like it. It's horrible. That's a red line for me. But carry on. Your mates always talk about it.
Like, if I'm doing it to someone, that doesn't make me, like, weird or whatever. If they're asking, and like, oh, please, it'd be amazing if you did that.
Who says that? Please, it'd be so amazing.
Hypothetically.
You're telling me that if someone asked you to poo on them, and, sorry, everyone, and you did it, you wouldn't be weird. Well, okay, let's just say this. It shouldn't be classified as weird. If it's your kink, it's your kink. But if
the person asking is the weird one in that setup.
Yeah, but we're now not saying it's weird, Dan. We're correcting ourselves and saying it's their kink. So, but I would still say you're implicated 100%, even if you do it to them, because you did it. So.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to do it.
But you'd have done it, which is really very obliging of you, by the way. But you'd still be involved in the kink. Like, you've still done it. I'm okay, though. Thanks for asking. I'm good. I'm okay.
Find us on your socials at Gay NonGay. Listen at gaynongay.com or just search NonGay at your fave pod app.